Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing well and I hope everyone's staying safe as usual. Today we have a Tactics Seismic Strike build, and that is the idea of one Draconis Eltonin, who is a longtime subscriber, so shout out to you for all the support and love. But Seismic Strike is a very, very good weapon in my opinion. If you want to know more about it and why I love it so much, you can always check out my melee rankings video. But anyways, Seismic Strike, basically what it does is that it roots enemies whenever you hit it. So it's a 3-hit combination, and the third hit is this big overhead swing. And it's a little slow, but in tactics, it works quite nicely. You may not think of melee survival as a good tactics option, but in certain cases, such as this one, it really is effective. And what I make use of is two particular mutations, the Heart of Ice mutation and the Predator mutation. I also have Initiative, but that's pretty much standard on melee tactics. But with Predator, basically I become invisible as soon as I kill an enemy. And with Heart of Ice, because I'm rooting enemies, I'm constantly getting that skill cooldown from Heart of Ice. It's really interesting. It's a very cool concept, so thank you Draconis for the idea. I make use of both shields and non-shields pretty much towards the end, and you're going to really love this. For those of you who have already seen my giant curse kill, that is also in this video. It's from the same run, so I hope you all enjoy it. And if you're seeing me for the first time, I like to do a lot of Dead Cells guides, 5BC runs, both live and post commentary, as well as other sorts of Dead Cells content. I also do a lot of Skull the Hero Slayer runs, and in addition, on the side, I do some social commentary. So if any of that interests you, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell for notifications, and let's get started. So one thing you got to note about this run right away is that Seismic Strike does some things really well and some things not so well. One of the things that it struggles with is because of that attack speed, it can struggle against mobs, especially in the early game. So I'm just trying to figure things out as I go along. This isn't the first time I've done this run. Like I said, I've done this on stream before. But unfortunately, I tried doing it for the channel off stream, kind of like this. But I did die, so I needed some time to kind of recover from that. But I'm kind of making use of the War Javelin. War Javelin is really good in levels like Promenade where there's a lot of open space and you can kind of throw the Javelin wherever you want. I'm at 50% because I ran into spikes because my controller died and then my character kept moving and then I just potatoed myself into spikes. So that's why I was at low health there. But anyways, we're going to move on. We're going to hit the field experiment. One cool thing about Seismic Strike, it can actually hit enemies below. Especially if you have a drop-down platform, you can actually hit them. So that's why you see some of these enemies dying that are right below me. So we're going to beat up on the Protector just to make sure that we're not going to be having to deal with any random shield shenanigans. Take care of this runner right here with the War Javelin. War Javelin, like I said, it's a great weapon in general, but it's really good in levels like Promenade of the Condemned. I'm trying to make use of the War Javelin specifically with this because of the fact that I can use War Javelin, get a little bit of breach on an enemy, teleport towards them, and then stun them from there. So that's kind of what's going on right now. I see another War Javelin, funny enough, but I had already bought one when I was in Promenade of the Condemned, and I was like, yeah, there's no point. So I might as well just take the one that I have now, pick up the Prison Depths Curse, and then we're going to keep going. We're kind of doing okay, I want to say. I don't think I took a hit in Promenade, but I'm still not 100% certain about my damage at this point because I'm still like, this isn't doing exactly what I want. And by this point in the run, you're not really going to have great synergy just because of the fact that even on custom mode, you're trying to find the right sort of build for you. But we do take care of the curse pretty quickly. There were a lot of enemies bunched up at once. Again, Seismic Strike, it does a great job in just rooting enemies. I play it safe, and then I want to basically use my War Javelin, get behind an enemy, and then hit them. I want to do the same thing with the hammer, but unfortunately, I see that knife throw at the very last second. But able to take care of it, just let them aggro towards me. That's one of the advantages to being on 4 and 5 BC is that you can do stuff like that. Barely avoid the Rampager, because one of the things that Seismic Strike does is that it, well, creates seismic waves. And those seismic waves, they last a fairly long time, and then you're able to root certain enemies that otherwise may run up at you. So these would be stuff like the Rampager and be stuff like the Slashers and stuff like that. So I do see a Challenge Rift in the Prison Depths. I am going to be taking it. I take the amulet with the extra jump. I had a couple with extra jump. I do have my +2 amulet with me, or might have been a +1. But either way, I do have a better amulet. But I take the one with more health and the extra jump just because, you know, challenge rifts, they can be difficult sometimes. And sometimes you may make mistakes. You can see on the screen that I do pick up a Thunder Shield. Thunder Shield is really good with this sort of build. I can parry enemies, I can stun them using the charge from the Thunder Shield, and then just use Seismic Strike from there. It's the basic plan of action, but I am going to finish up this level pretty quickly for the most part. We're going to go up to Moraz, and now I have Predator, and Predator is really where the run starts to come onto its own, because these enemies can't see me, right? The enemies can't see me, and because of that, the blowgunners can't see me, which means that I can just keep hitting them. I don't have to worry about doing anything chaotic, which is normally what I do when I'm in this level. Even with something like the Cleaver, I can just drop down gently beside him. If you do a down smash, you do lose your invisibility on Predator. Just keep that in mind. But I want to say that it drops from the Automata in the Clock Tower, which is the exclusive enemies, the invisible one that dashes at you. I think that's where it comes from. Leave a comment if I have that wrong. But anyways, get the kill on the Elite Slasher. Use the Ram Rune to be able to get that. Get the 60 pretty quickly. I hit my first 60 enemies, just honestly because of the Predator mutation. That's honestly why. Usually about this point is when I start getting hit. I'm going to get hit pretty significantly in this biome. But luckily for me, I had a lot of healing options, so it was never really a big deal. I'm able to get a couple kills, but now I'm starting to worry about the curse chest, because one thing I always say about Moraz is be sure to explore the extremities. So that would be the top right corner, the top left corner, and then just go to the different places, explore the bottom right, bottom left, that sort of thing. I've explored about, I want to say 60% of the level, and I haven't seen the curse chest yet, so I'm a little nervous up until now. But I will take a break from worrying and then take this challenge rift, because I figured that, hey, like if I have to fight Mama Tick curse, I don't want to go into the challenge rift curse. And then you're gonna see why, because I get hit by spikes. My run would have been lost right there, and then you would not be watching this right now. So yeah, I mean, it's just stuff like that where you gotta keep in mind what you need to be doing in this level. So I typically have objectives when I enter a level. So some of them will be trying to get a certain item, sometimes it'll be flasking, sometimes it'll be getting something in this level. In this case, with Moraz, what I'm trying to do specifically is make sure that I'm able to do at least something as far as getting a challenge rift and then preserving my health, taking the curse chest, things like that. Don't really achieve that objective in terms of preserving health, because I get absolutely bodied by the giant tick, but we are going to take this curse chest, finally find it at the very end of the level, and I'm going to speed up this footage just because there's just a lot of just me trying to check my map for the Explorer's Instinct. I did leave 10 enemies on the map, so that's one of the things, right? If you're about the halfway point in this level, and you haven't seen all the enemies left, or you haven't seen the curse chest, you got to start saving up enemies. So I do save enemies in certain spots, but I was worried because I was like, did I not save enough enemies? Am I gonna have to fight Mama Tick curse? And I was kind of annoyed at that point, because I thought I did a good job of it, but I'm not gonna do a good job of it later on. And for those of you who saw my giant curse video, that's basically what I'm referring to. But we are going to be able to kill a couple of the banished. I'm gonna keep roaming around, just trying to find the enemies, get another couple kills, so I have 4 left. I'm gonna just check my map. I see a teleporter right there, so I'm gonna hit up the teleporter, and I see the enemies on the right side of the screen. Good thing I left them, because I had basically no enemies left after the curse. So yeah, pretty sick, pretty scary stuff, to be honest. I messed up right here. I'd used the double crossbow-matic. I misclicked. I meant to hit the cleaver. Unfortunately, didn't get the kills right away, but I was able to figure it out. Everything was fine. The world didn't end from that, but Mama Tick is going to be coming up right now. Mama Tick is a scary fight just because some of it can be a little RNG dependent. With the slower weapon, you could be mid-combo and then you might get hit. Spoiler alert, we are going to get hit in this fight. Able to avoid all the sights barely. You can parry the sights. I'm not that great at doing it, so I just don't bother. I just like to roll up against the wall. It just makes my life a little bit easier. Plus with Thunder Shield, I start hearing a lot of noises and then things start getting a little bit crazy, so I just don't even want to bother with it. So the sights are going to shoot back up. I really thought that I had avoided the sights multiple times, but you're going to see right here I am about to get hit. I'm able to roll one, but then I roll a little bit too soon. I'm looking at that now. I rolled a little bit too soon, unfortunately. Able to get the parry off, and I use the Thunder Shield to stun the enemy, and then I get hit again. Not going great, but able to get the kill off. That is okay. I have 57% HP, something like that. And that's the great thing about the Seismic Strike and melee survival in general. There is a lot of recovery when it comes to these types of weapons, because the idea is do big damage, and whenever you do big damage, you get a lot of recovery back. So I'm gonna run right into the cage because I had a 0 IQ play right there. I was like, oh yeah, the Purulent Zombie didn't see me. I can run right up to it. Nope, he unleashed the cage on me. So not amazing decision making on my part, but it's whatever. I mean, look, we're doing good in the run. I'm at 100% HP. I'm able to heal up. We take the curse chest. The run is going fine, right? Like, there are some moments where I'm just, like, taking hits here and there, but because of Seismic Strike's amazing recovery, I'm not really taking that much damage, all things considered. Like an attack that'll do, like, 80%, I really only take, like, maybe 30% just because of that recovery. And that's the reason I'm at full health right now. So I'm trying to look for all these enemies. I go into the 3-cell door. The cell doors are generally safer for these sorts of curses where you don't really know what's going to happen. I am going to leave the decoy right there. I do pick up a decoy. I'm going to get the kill off on the massacre because I was a little scared. I was just like, Purulent Zombie appears right in front of me because of course it does. I'm going to pop up right behind the, what's his name? I think he's called the Catcher. I call him the red guy. But anyways, we get the curse clear. I overthought it with the rat. Don't know what I was trying to do there, but in any case, we're good to go. Cavern. Things are going to get kind of crazy in Cavern. First of all, my game crashed when I was in Cavern. So I had to redo the whole level. I was about 25% of the way through. And what's funny is that actually my first playthrough was a lot worse. So unfortunately, I did kind of have an advantage for the first quarter of this level, but it's not even going to matter because I am going to take a pretty bad hit a little bit later on. And by later on, I mean right now, because yeah, the cage kind of screwed me. I wanted to aggro the elite demon, but I didn't see the cage. I only saw it at the last moment. But again, that recovery, so helpful. Brought me from 0 HP back to 61. Really good stuff. And it's not even going to matter later on. Arbiters are going down just from the down slam, so that's really good. I'm going to take care of the Oven Knight pretty quickly. The Ground Shakers are a little tough, but able to take care of them pretty quickly. Able to avoid the Slammer barely, honestly. I had to use the Wall Rune. But I speed up the footage. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can check out my previous video. I think it was a couple of videos ago when I showed the entirety of this. But this is going to be completely sped up. The Giant fight's going to be sped up. You guys know, if you've seen it, that I do end up clearing out this curse against Giant. Here was my thought process, because I saw the curse chest in the Explorer's Instinct. I had two minds about it. The first thing was, I picked up a bunch of level 12 items from the shops. I was doing a lot better damage, and I was able to get a lot more kills very quickly from there, so I wasn't that worried about it. But the thing is, because of the way the map was laid out, I knew I was going to have to take the curse into Giant. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how it works sometimes. You can't avoid every enemy. I tried my best. Didn't happen. Able to pick up the Monster's Eye, get that 50% healing. Really good stuff there. But you only have the enemies that you have in this level, right? If I had seen the curse chest earlier, this wouldn't have been an issue. But at the same time, I wouldn't have had another curse kill on a boss. Sometimes you think that you do a good job of preserving enemies, but in a level like this, where there isn't a guaranteed chance at a curse, I generally don't really leave enemies. Maybe I should start doing that, but I don't know. It is what it is, right? Morass kind of has the same problem, but you know, we're gonna take this curse into Giant. I'm gonna be playing it safe here. The idea is I have Corrupted Power, I have Lacerating Aura. Lacerating Aura hard walls the Giant, along with Carbine. I go from shield to no shield just because I need to do as much DPS as possible against Giant. And I figured, okay, like we can go into High Peak Castle or into Distillery or wherever I intended on going at the time, and then I can pretty much just kill one enemy and then I should be okay. That's not going to end up being the case. It's actually going to be a lot more convenient than that, but Giant keeps doing his double fists, kind of annoying. But I just stay up on the right side. He's not going to do anything. The lasers actually don't shoot in that spot, or the little spikes that come from the ceiling, they don't shoot in that spot, so we're fine. The curse ends up clearing because Giant actually counts as 4 enemies. The 2 hands, plus the eyeball, plus Giant himself. Thank you, Tiago, for letting me know. I didn't realize. I wasn't sure why I cleared the curse there, but yes, he counts as multiple enemies. Only highlight that you're going to be seeing here, basically, is this little incident right here where there's a spike ball, an elite, and a lancer, and a bombardier. just use your skills. Use your skills, roll away, do everything that you have to do. Run's looking good. Run's looking really, really good. We got Hand of the King coming up now. And with Hand of the King, it's going to be kind of the same thing. You know, roll behind, use my skills, use everything that I need to do. And now I have the Seismic Strike going on. Now I've got the aura that's going to come up eventually. I do have the Heart of Ice mutation. Heart of Ice will give me about 1.5 seconds of cooldown on my skills for every melee hit that I get on I believe it's frozen, slowed down, stunned, and rooted. And in this case, it's all rooting. So just because Seismic Strike, it always roots. So I'm able to get a lot of different skill cooldowns, get my stuff back very quickly. And for Aura and Corrupted Power, which have longer cooldowns, pretty convenient. It works like a much better Instinct of the Master of Arms. But we're gonna go hit up the Astrolabe finally. And I almost get hit right away, but I'm able to deal with these baddies pretty easily. Again, at this point in the run, I'm doing a lot of damage, so I'm not that worried about things. You're gonna see me deal with these elites, what are they called? The Slammer elites. These aren't typically that bad. All you need to do is basically go to one side, beat up on one, and then go to the other. That's all you really need to do. I take a health flash just because I got hit in the level, so I had enough money to do that. So I want to go into this collector fight with 100% HP, no melees, and 4 health pots just in case. So my mutations for this final fight, they are going to be the Scheme mutation, I'll explain that in a second, the Emergency Triage, and the Heart of Ice. Basically, the idea with Scheme is that because of my quick skill cooldown, it's, I'll be able to get a couple more powerful hits here and there. Didn't really need it at the end of the day. Unfortunately, this guy feels like spamming that same attack every single time. Unfortunately, I do get hit by his little spin attack. Unfortunate. I should have rolled towards him instead of on the same side as him. Sometimes you make mistakes like that. Shouldn't be making mistakes like that, but it happens. All you can do is just kind of learn from it and then move on for next time. But it's a weird fight. It's not that bad once you kind of get it rolling, but you can end up dying in like 2 hits, especially if you're running like a tactics build like this. So that's where you need to be really careful. If I had the Thunder Shield, it probably would have gone a little bit more smoothly, but I needed that Carbine for Giant. I really feel like I did, so I did what I did. I'm going to avoid these little tornadoes that he's shooting at me. All you need to do is just go from one side to the other. He's rooted, so when he does the little stab attack, he's actually only going in one spot. I'm going to avoid him again, and pretty much he's going to drop in the Panacea here. Aura's going to be getting the Panacea drop for me. Use the Emergency Triage. She's going to go for the big slam one more time, but because I have the shield from the Triage, I'm able to get the kill, and that is the run. It was really fun, honestly. I've done this run before, and I had some success with it, but for one reason or another, every time I kept trying this run, I would die to a curse or die to some fluky circumstance, or I would just die from bad playing. But this time, able to get a win. Had a little bit of adversity, but at the end of the day, that's every single Dead Cells run. It was a good run. I'm pretty happy with it. Good stats, good synergy. Pretty much on point for every part of the run, and that Cursed Giant clear is, that's a memorable thing. That's something I'm going to hold with me forever. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the run, and thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch my content. Leave a like, subscribe for more Dead Cells runs, and Skull the Hero Slay and social commentaries. I'll see you all later. Have a great night, everybody, and stay safe out there.
Looking sideways, but how am I the one to blame when you're distorting pictures? Calling my name. You ain't got time. Looking sideways, but how am I the one to